where are you taking the state? Again, given the deficit that we have in the, from the Rounds-Dugard administration, our number one goal has to be figuring out how to balance the budget. It was a little disappointing to have the Lieutenant Governor say that he has some ideas, but he's not going to tell them to us while we're here in a time when we could conceivably act on those ideas and they could be of some utility. Right now, the legislature has the heavy lifting duty of trying to find money to reduce this budget deficit. The Republicans are pledged to reduce that deficit to zero. I believe the Democratic Party is also targeting a zero deficit for this session. Republicans are also saying we're not going to shift $4 million of state school funding burden onto local taxpayers. So in reality, the deficit we face is $36 million. And so the first job is to solve that deficit problem and do it with no new taxes. In the longer run, where do you want to take the state? For me, it's to improve our K-12 education. Ever since I've been in Pierre, I've worked hard to try and improve the K-12 system. I think we ought to tie the support that we give as a state to our local K-12 systems to the state's general fund revenue growth instead of having this 3% or inflation, whichever is less test. So I would advocate a change in that formula to, again, allow the school funding to rise and fall with the state's general fund revenue growth. I think we also have to refocus our economic development efforts. I've been talking about reorganizing the Department of State Development and Tourism from the beginning of this campaign, and I'm glad to see that the Lieutenant Governor has been taking notes, because the current organization of that department is truly a mess. One department has economic development, tourism, tribal affairs, cultural affairs, the State Archaeology Center, Division of the Arts, and I think I'm forgetting a couple. That's way too much breadth when we need a Department of State Government that is focused on economic development and nothing else. We also need a standalone Department of Tourism that is focused on tourism. So on day one, from my standpoint, I would reorganize state government by executive order to clean up this messy department that we have, and I will in fact be introducing legislation this session to do that even during this legislative session. As the Lieutenant Governor did properly say, the next governor is going to have to be deeply involved in economic development. The long-term solution for us is jobs, jobs, jobs. I think my business lawyer background is ideal for that challenge. I'm very comfortable in boardrooms, both in South Dakota and in financial centers like New York and California and Chicago. I think I have the skills to do economic development in a really strong fashion for the state of South Dakota.